Science, Temple of America, home office, Noble Valley, home office, Chicago, Illinois, USA, Islam, Islam, Islam.
Islamism. All right, thank you, brother. Once again, we're doing chapter 25 today, and also we're gonna look at the agenda for convention. We have that too, so we'll look at that before we close. Okay. All right, chapter 25, a holy covenant of the Asiatic nation. It's a short measure, but it's powerful, and it's something that we all need to understand and know inside and out. Also good too if there's new people in here, not today, but if there's new people in here to explain this to them, because this might seem simple, but it's something that that a lot of people just gloss over. They don't realize the importance of it. Okay, so we're going to talk about this today, and should be on the screen. But if you're reading your Quran, it is on page 35. The Holy Covenant of the Asiatic Nation, verse 1, ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother hath given you suck. Right, so we're tied together, bonds is family. Or tribal bonds. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thine own blood. If thy brother is in adversity, assist him. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other. All right, and just what I was saying before, it's extremely important to understand our holy covenant, right? This is the holy covenant of the Asiatic nation, right? We have to understand this covenant and the relations that bind us, and also the importance of this, the significance of this, right? Because for us putting this into action, this holy covenant, that's what makes it real. That's what makes our covenant real. And that's also what's going to empower us in real life. Like, for example, it's not because people that are learning about this stuff in the streets or online, they're thinking it's about paperwork or legal filings. Always you have to go to court and do this and that. It's like, no, that's not your saving power. That's not going to do. If a whole bunch of people just started flooding the court work thinking they're doing something, all these different methods is out there. All they will do is just change things up. They'll be like, okay, whatever you think you're doing, it doesn't work. So that's not where the saving power is in. It's not some magic paperwork or whatever people are saying. People are saying all types of stuff. And then a lot of this information, like what we're talking about, what we're discussing, it's not even available online. Even in 2020, everything's not online. So it's, extremely important. It's of the utmost importance that we don't limit ourselves to the internet and all the information that's pretty much just floating around recklessly, like in the streets. Okay, so our saving power is in coming together within our society. Remember, we have an Islamic nation state. All right. But that Islamic nation state doesn't work unless we come in and learn the structure and we have to be experts in our law, our way of living, our custom, our cultures, our divine creed. We have to take it seriously, or else nobody else does. So we have to come in, and that's what makes it work. And we have to understand our holy covenant, our divine origin, and we have to return to our divine creed, because that's where our power is in doing this as a collective. All right, so moving together now as a unit with the ties that bind us to each other. And then we also create common goals, common interests, like, for example, the block vote. these things work because we're working together to accomplish it. Because we have common goals. The success of our nation now comes first. A lot of people are sincere. They want to do things, but they're extremely limited because they don't realize that these things were stripped from us. And so operating under the labels that we've been operating under for decades now, maybe even a century now, or centuries now, it leaves you disenfranchised. It leaves you as an undesirable. We were just watching that one show, Lovecraft Country, and they showed them the Asiatics trying to move into a neighborhood in Chicago that was majority people European descent, and they actually were putting up signs on their lawn saying undesirables go, or undesirables need to leave, or something like that. This neighborhood ain't for undesirables. They were actually calling them undesirables. And so, we know that we can't operate like that, right? Operating as an undesirable, we'll always be victims. We'll always be vulnerable. By returning to this, we know who we are. We know our place in things. And while that automatically doesn't save you, because just knowing, oh, we don't want to come together and be those people who just come together and talk about how great we were in the past, right? Knowing that, though, may motivate you to be a better version of yourself. That's the only power that's in it, really. Thinking about, oh, the Moors, they did this and that. It's that maybe that'll motivate me. I'm not going to be out here getting high and I'm not even satisfied where I'm at in life, but at least I can get high. No, I'm not going to be satisfied with that because I know I need to push for more, right? You can't just give me fire water like they did with the so-called Indians, right? We living in subhuman conditions, but we cool because we can get drunk. You can't just give me weed, like, they legalizing weed. Oh, you can give me the weed and I'm cool, even though I live in the projects and we not even safe out here. It's like, no, you can't buy me off. We have something greater than that. And that's really where the power is. We have something greater than that. We can't just be bought off either, right? There's certain things that we're not going to do. It's not just anything goes. Like with many of our people, it's anything goes. They're down for whatever. I mean, we used to say that, down for whatever. I'm down for whatever. So like, we're not down for whatever. And that's extremely important. And that's where the saving power is. And so it's, once again, it's of paramount importance that we understand this, because we're the ones that are charged to go out and teach, to propagate the faith, to let the people know who they are about our divine creed. So we have to understand this holy covenant, and we have to know what it means, and then we have to live it. We have to actually act like this in real life. Okay, and I see that happening. It's a beautiful thing. I love what's happening here with Mission 30. I thank Allah for all of you, because we're coming together and, we're getting things done, and we have a community already, and that's legit. That's what's real, and that's where the power is. Okay, so yeah, anybody who's saying something about filing paperwork and stuff, I'm not saying that there won't be a time when that matters. It's just that it's inconsequential if you don't have a real community that's not down for whatever. You can't, I'm not going to sell out, right? You have to have people that are really invested for real, because they have a greater cause. We have a greater purpose, and we have a greater purpose as a collective. So that separates us from a lot of people, and especially from the undesirables, our own people who are classified as undesirables. And I'm going to ask some questions too regarding this chapter, with the Holy Covenant of the Asiatic Nation. What is that? It's a sacred oath that binds Moorish Americans into a brotherhood or a sisterhood. The sacred oath that binds us as a community or a nation of people, a Umma. In Arabic, it will be U-M-M-A-H, Umma. That's a community or a nation. All right. Hang on one second. Okay, so once again, what is the Holy Covenant of the Asiatic Nation? It's a sacred oath that binds Moorish Americans into a brotherhood, a sisterhood, a nation of people. Okay, so that's definitely like nobody's learning that online. We can't have that online. You know, it's not good enough. We have to actually build physical buildings. We need to grow our own food too, right? We have to do these things. We have to be able to cater to our needs. We need security. We need all of it. We need to be able to police our own neighborhoods, or at least one neighborhood. We need at least one safe haven for us, one place where we can prosper. All right. So Moorish Americans are a nation of people. We're the Asiatic nations of North America. And the things that keeps, or the thing that keeps our nation together is the bonds of affection. Right? That's in verse 2. The bonds of affection unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. All right. And so like all of these laws and everything that we're going over, these are things that we need to go over and over until it's just ingrained in our head. Hang on. Okay. So I'll just run over that again from the top. The Holy Covenant of the Asiatic Nation is the sacred oath that binds Moorish Americans into a brotherhood or a sisterhood, a nation of people. And we are collectively, we're the Asiatic nations of North America. Okay. And the reasons why you could say that our boundaries or our land isn't like well defined is because we've been disenfranchised, right? We've been classified as Negroes, whatever they want to call us. They even said we came from somewhere else. So we're kind of like the Palestinians in Israel. That was their land. They were there before people started coming in Israel from like Eastern Europe. They were already there, and they wound up getting moved and pushed to the side. But they're able to speak for themselves, represent themselves, I guess, enter into trade, have armies and all, whatever they see fit for themselves, because they have a nation. They are Palestinians. They, even though they don't own, I guess you could say they don't own Israel. I guess you could say they don't have a land called Palestine anymore. They still have a real legitimate nation. They have to be dealt with as all the other humans or members of the family of humans. And what keeps the nation together is the bonds of affection.
Bonds of affection.
Islam. And then how do you recognize the bonds of affection? It's through the acts of assistance and preferring not a stranger before thine own blood. All right, love and unity. That's in verse 3. When you separate into the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thine own blood. All right, so this is how we recognize our what keeps us together, the bonds of affection. And this is how we recognize it. So it's not about like your dress or how we, dressed or uniform or whatever. No, we're supposed to act these out in real life. It's not about what name we use online or any of that stuff, right? It's about how we're actually acting, how we treat each other, how we move as a unit. Like we're supposed to all be on code, meaning we know what Moorish Americans are supposed to do, how we're supposed to conduct ourselves. So when situations come up in life, we're supposed to be able to refer to our Quran, our laws, to determine how to move. And if we do this as a collective, we'll be successful and powerful. Because there's certain things that Moorish Americans aren't going to do. Like they're not going to be out here messing with children or doing any of this stuff, right? But you can't say that about Black people because they're down for whatever. So there's certain things that we can't do. So like you can't be the type of person, I don't like having rules. I want to just do whatever. Not you need to go somewhere if that's how you feel. Because that's not how Moorish Americans are. It's like, no, we the creators of civilization. Now we're not down for whatever. There's a whole lot of stuff we're not cool with. And there's ways that we conduct ourselves. Even when no one's looking, right? Doing the right thing. Even if not gonna get any attention or praise for it. Okay, and then unity is maintained through communication. And the communication is essential to unity because that's the flow of knowledge to and fro between the wise and the ignorant for the benefit of both. All right. And
Islam.
Islam.
Interrupt, but that really stuck out to me because a lot of people talk about polarity. I speak about polarity, and what woke me up just now was the fact that we have to really live as in peace. I mean, like because you have, let's say, you cut up a piece of pie, and you got all these different sections. One section is for Moors, one section is for Chinese, so on and so forth. But we're all living on this plane may manifest. And if we manifest so-called love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, I mean, not so-called, but, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, then we have to really abide by that. We have to walk it, talk it, eat it, breathe it, cry it, everything. I mean, that.
Islam. So like brother was saying, if we don't know this and understand this and carry this out in real life, it doesn't work. Islam. Okay, somebody else hands raised.
Islam, peace and love, Muslims. Praise to Allah, honors to his prophet, noble Jali, honors to all you faithful and noble Moors on the call tonight. I did want to add, like, there's a lot of people that claim to be our brothers and sisters, but based on their words and actions, it shows that they're not. We need to be able to recognize these people. Unfortunately, we have this within our nation, but the one thing that separates us from them is no matter what, we're following Prophet Noble Drali, and we're always putting Allah first. We're always focused on Allah, and we're putting the Prophet out front in everything that we do. Coming into this movement, we've seen a lot of shaky things, but we decided to stand on that solid rock of salvation, and no matter what, teach every Moor that came into our lives how to be a Moorish American Muslim under love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, following Prophet Noble Ali. And that's how we, are linked up with you, brothers and sisters. And I honor you, Moors, for being faithful and sticking with it, being consistent, because when we look in the books, it looks like we're not even a temp yet, but we're the only ones really doing this for real. So I just want to commend you more, you know, because we're doing something that hasn't been done before, and we plan on further as far as we can, and that's to the top, and it's not stopping with us. Our children, you know, they're watching, they're learning, they're interested, and they understand, and we're gonna keep it going forever as intended. Islam.
All right, Islam, thank you for sharing that, sis. Islam, yeah, it's an honor to be here with you, Moors. I appreciate you all. I am going to read something from Moorish literature. Um, Now, it's called Drew Ali in Time. I don't know who the author is. Yeah, if you have the white Moorish literature book, it's on page 40. The Drew Ali in Time is the title. All right. Allah has sent us a prophet and sent him in time with the holy message, which is divine. He came to let the Asiatics of America know they are of the ancient family of the Moors. His speech was to the Asiatics first. Why? Because they have been sinners since their departure from their forefathers' religion. All right, so he came to us first, and he didn't blame the conditions that we're in on the European either, right? Because, well, if all is mine, right, nobody can rule over us unless we go along with it. Okay, so continuing on, says they've been sinners since their departure from their forefathers' religion. Oh, sinners, why don't you hear the soul of Islam ringing in your ears? The prophet has said that if I were you, I would get ready before you were made to do so. And I mean, we see the times, man. Everyone's joking around now how 2020 is like the apocalypse. Okay, but things can get a lot worse. And you know, if we don't want to be suffering through this stuff, we need to get it together, right? Because as a collective, we're far behind. Now come and pick up your forefathers and mothers' ancient and divine creed, which carries your national name indeed. It will entitle you to your rights, which you have been denied. So the saving power also is in returning to our divine creed of Islamism, right? A lot of people don't realize that. They think they could just say, oh, I don't care about religion. But it will entitle you to your rights, which you have been denied, because in 1774, your light was cut off from the ancient Moors, and that is why Allah has sent us a prophet in 1886 to prepare the light that was out. In 1925, the prophet said, I have mended broken wires and connected them with the higher powers. So come on, Asiatics, don't you want to go? We were marching on to Canaan. I used to think that it was a city in the sky, but now I know it is here on earth. Don't you want your share? Islam. So in order to carry out this divine covenant, right, we have to understand our role in it, the ties that bind us to each other, where our power truly is. Islam. And that's really all I had to say about chapter 25. If anybody has any questions or anything they want to add, feel free to speak up.
Peace. I just want to say it's a story in the Bible. I want to say it's in Matthew. If not, it's in one of the what is it? I forget what they're called, but like four, like Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, one of those guys, where a man like kind of falls out on the side of the road and he needs help, and it's basically saying like, who is your brother? Like the people of his nation, like just kind of looked at him and walked by, even though he was in need. And though then it was somebody who was said to be Basically he wasn't a Hebrew or from Judah or whatever tribe he was from. Uh, but he came and helped him, and he was just saying, like, your brother by who does the work. And then it's also another story when Jesus was they're talking about Jesus and his relatives, and Jesus said to be like his brother, like, you got to do the Father's work. I just wanted to add that to put that on everybody's mind as well, since that kind of goes along with what the chat was talking about as well.
Islam. That's 100% on the money, brother. Just keep your eyes wide open, Morris, and be observant, because sometimes it's like I said, it's a game to some people. Everyone isn't sincere. This is for entertainment sometimes. For it's just something to be a part of, like as far as like a kind of like a game, And then there's some in leadership who's actually sending out goons to antagonize others. So just be aware, and you know don't get so emotionally involved. Don't be emotionally invested in all the distractions, the talk. If you read what I put earlier in the group chat on the messenger group chat, I was saying, um, just focus on on self, focus on Allah, and just keep game, because it's just a lot of games being played, and if you can take yourself out of a situation and just look at it, and wherever you see trouble, try to find a common denominator, try to find a person who's always there, even if it's yourself, and then you can analyze, and then you can take that common denominator out. That's why I don't be playing with these brothers and sisters or these Moors or these whoever they are online. When they get out of line, get deleted with no question. I don't have to talk about it, And all you Moors on the line with power, you're all admins. If you feel like there's somebody out of line, and after talking to them and seeing that there's no point in talking to them, and you're just wasting your time, because a lot of them want to waste your time because they have nothing to do. They're emotionally, they're just going through stuff in their life, and they want to take it out on somebody on the internet. Don't be that person. Don't give them that power. Don't let them take you out of your comfort zone, and don't let them take you out of your purpose. Because if this stuff is not making you stronger, making you money, making you happy, don't do it. And that goes for everything. Islam.
Yeah, because then you wind up being disappointed if you meet these people in real life, as you'll find out that while you're actually building in real life, putting real energy and effort towards building up our community, they're not doing anything. It's just some online stuff for them. So it's like, it's not worth wasting any energy or time.
Facts. A lot of them have not been in a temple. They've been put out of temples because of this.
They live in trifling and everything. You never know. They're not even trying to live right at all. So yeah, it's not the same. We're not all built the same. So yeah, does anybody else have anything they want to add or ask?
Islam, I just want to express, just some wisdom I got from Jackson Bay. He explained to me, like, it's not an expectation you should have, of others at least, but more of like an expectation of yourself, you know, just to kind of, you're not even proving a point. It's just a mere sense of priority. Like, this is for the sake of humans. I mean, we're doing this for the sake of humans because Allah sent us here for the divine purpose. And yeah, like having that expectation is really, I'm really learning not to, you know, just in general, not just, you know, with these, you know, so-called Moors online, and, you know, it's all a distraction. And, you know, I'm just learning to really get into it with that still voice, Islam.
Islam.
And remember, if you do decide to go back and forth with someone in the public eye, make sure you're able to teach the Moors who are new to this and don't know much of the knowledge. And because that's one thing we learned and we take advantage of. If we can prove the point of the Prophet in a post, you know, that is a perfect opportunity, you know, to use as a teaching skill, a teaching tool for people, you know, who's just looking for the truth.
Islam. Peace. Sometimes it's kind of difficult to determine those groups exactly where someone is coming from. You get people that come into those groups with questions that sound like accusations, and if you don't feel that out properly, you could end up, and I've done it before, maybe cancel someone and kick them out a little bit prematurely instead of giving them a chance to see if they can formulate their thoughts a little better and then give you an opportunity to share some information with them. And so sometimes I get caught up going back and forth trying to determine, and it's tough for me because my physical being is a Marine, so I have to try real hard not to snap at times, but I find myself dropping into all of our groups today, and it's in every group, L's and A's were at each other's throats. That was hard to deal with.
Islam. And another thing is, it's just something right now. It's just something in the energies, you know, with the full moon energy to just fast, and you know, with what's going on with Saturn, you know, having its return around the sun. A lot of people are on emotional roller coasters,
Islam.
and there's one energy that's brewing right now, and it's a sense of people with positions. I'm going to put it like this: people with positions, they want to flex, and they're going to you know, go at people in ways that they shouldn't. So beware of that. And for any rejection, and this goes for jobs, relationships, you know, people are going to be going through different kinds of rejections. These type of rejections that are going to be occurring is going to benefit you in the long run. So do not harp on it. Do not feel, you know, bad, or do not act on it negatively. You know, like it's nothing bad. There's no bad or good things. Things are just things. It's just your perception of it. Islam.
Islam. And thank you for that reminder about the energy. I read that too, but completely forgot about it. That explains a lot about what was going on today on Facebook.
And you know, it's 9/11, that 9/11 energy, you know, to destroy, to rebuild again,
Islam.
something new. And everybody don't have that knowledge or self-awareness to see, you know, what's happening. The ethers affect us. It affects us emotionally, you know, so we have to be aware and, you know, self-awareness. That's why the Prophet says, study self and study self again. When you're done, study self again, because you're never done studying self. Islam.
Islam.
I wanted to read something real quick, and then I'm done. I underlined a few lines in Holy Koran instructions, chapter 40, holy instructions from the prophet, the ability of man. And the first line, inconstancy is powerful in the heart of man. So anything that we, retaliate or replying to, with the negative talk or negative comments, or whatever, inconstancy is powerful in the heart of man. So, we have to just be aware of that, like Sis said, just, study yourself again. Another line from the prophet quoted, behold, I sit unrevolved therein. That means, no matter what was going on, the prophet was sitting still. He's being still. He had that still voice. He was with Allah, of course, divinely. So, we all have to just kind of really hunker down. I'm speaking to myself and just, really focus in on the purpose. All of these other people who are trying to distract us is just what it is. Like, they have nothing else to do, so on and so forth. And the last line says, the public is unstable and ungrateful. Why should the man of wisdom endanger himself for fools? And that's just case in point, how we should react to most of these individuals.
Islam, brother. Islam. All right. For the person that just joined, make sure in the chat or on the side you share your name and phone number and email. All right. We're about to open the floor up too if you have any questions. Real quick, just gonna go over convention. We have the itinerary. So this might change, but this is just what it's looking like so far. Tuesday, you see on here on the screen saying security meeting 1 to 2, credentials check 2 to 5. And that's Tuesday, registration day. Then convention day 2, Wednesday, starting in the morning. The Supreme Grand Sheikh, Brother Dandridge, is going to address everyone. We have a guest speaker, this Dr. Maxwell Nardi. He has alternative healing methods, or I guess you say natural healing methods. So there's going to be some different workshops. This one's open to everybody. The things in red are closed session just for ADEPs and mission chairman. But back to Wednesday, going to review the 2020 census. Temple business and cooperative economic session. Thursday, they're going to go over birthright and name corrections, expanding the member orientation manual, uniform Sunday school curriculum so that everybody can be on the same page, developing the Moorish American Code. Is somebody's doing this presentation. And let's see, the ADEP chamber is going to be on that Thursday night. So y'all see that it says 8 to 11 ADEP chamber after dinner. And then Friday, you see almost everything on here. Friday is for ADEPs, at least early on. So we're going over the business part, the monthly reports, annual reporting, then the structure of the MST, job training, job description training, then national agenda session. So going over national strategies, appointment confirmation ceremony, I guess for all the sheiks and ADEPs, divine ministers. Closing out at 4:30. Saturday, Moorish Business League and establishing temple-owned businesses. So they're going to be speaking on how to do this, how to open the businesses under the temple. and looks like going to be talking about our actual free national government, our jurisdiction, later on. And that Saturday, Sunday's the last day, so we're gonna have Sunday school and closing addresses. That's pretty much it. This, like I said, this is tentative, so it might change, but that's pretty much the plan. So you guys see though, the ADEP chamber is going to be on that Thursday evening. All right. When they finalize it, I'll make sure everybody, you know, gets the link or gets it so you can go over it. Do you have a question?
Please. I wanted to just get clarity on the uniform or the dress code.
Uh-huh.
As far as I know we have one day that we dress in white, Islam.
Yeah, I would, okay, yeah, just the ADEP chamber, all white. You know, wear something nice, like all white. Could be Islamic attire, could just be, you know, just all white, white pants, white shirt. But as far as like convention, you know, people dress nice, like business casual. If you have a suit and tie, you know, for the men, that's the type of clothes we wear. Or, you know, if you have Islamic garbs. But just letting you know, everybody's gonna be dressed nice. Like people not gonna be
Anyone else?
with like.
Peace. I'm sorry. Shit.
Yeah.
Do we have anyone else in the mission who was volunteered for security for the event?
Islam.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
that I think the grand governor reached out to everyone individually. So unless he reached out to you for that purpose, but most of the time, security is random. A lot of times they'll just pull, you know, brothers that aren't busy on a certain day and just ask them to post for security. So
Yes.
it's usually not assigned or, you know, ahead of time. We haven't really seen that. It's just, you know, sometimes brothers don't show up. You know, sometimes we have a lot of brothers come in that was supposed to come in that actually registered. So I think it's mostly going by who's there on those days and who's present and who's supposed to be you know, who's free to do security.
Islam. I just didn't know if anyone else was going to participate in the security duties, but the job description manual described a security uniform, and so what it said was black suit, black tie, black shirt, and your burgundy fez if you're going to do security.
Islam. Yeah. I'm telling you, I seen others do security in jeans and t-shirts,
Understood.
brother. And you know,
we're not necessarily adhering all that strictly to what the manual is. Understood. I have to get that straight because I'm the book. So it's
and that's how we
that's
are.
the way I'm accustomed to rolling. Right.
So
if you say uniform, mine is going to be squared away. That's just the way it goes.
Islam. All right. So yeah, Shabe, yeah, for the most part, everybody's gonna be
Islam. I have one question. So since
go ahead, brother.
Islam, one question I wanted to ask, if we all are riding out together, since it's going to be a little bit later right before check-in, what time are we leaving out and meeting, you know, to leave out on Tuesday?
Islam. After Holy Day, I say we get together for a few minutes and we talk about that.
Islam.
All right. Okay, does anybody else have any questions? All right. Okay. All right, so we're actually coming to the close of the meeting. To the brother that just joined, did you have any questions? That just joined our call? All right.
Islam, I came in on it so late. I got the message kind of late, so I ain't gonna I ain't gonna bother you with it. I get up with you so we can find out. So you can tell me what the meeting was about. I apologize. I didn't have my phone on me.
Okay, that's cool. Well, we do this every Friday at 7, and also every Sunday at 7. All right, and yeah, just consistently, every week. We'll be doing it next week. Wait, hang on. I'm sorry. Now we're not doing it next week. We're gonna be in Chicago for a convention, but every other Friday and Sunday.
Next week.
Yeah, next week's the only Friday
Yeah,
we're
y'all
not
gonna be in
doing
Chicago
it.
this following Friday.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna be starting a job Wednesday, so I'll be at work from 4 to 2 a.m. So I won't be able to make these meetings except on Friday.
Islam, yeah, that's cool. Just get in touch with me, and I haven't put any up on YouTube in a minute, but we also put our classes up on YouTube. And just what we were discussing today, we were in the Holy Koran, divinely prepared by Noble Drew Ali, chapter 25, going over the Holy Covenant of the Asiatic nation, and just we're discussing how it's important. This doesn't work if people don't know this stuff. Right? Because people think that our saving power is in paperwork or whatever you filing into court, and that stuff doesn't really carry any weight. That it may have a purpose, but that's not going to save you. That's not going to save anybody. We have to know this. We have to know the ties that bind us to each other, what that means, what our divine creed is. We have to know this inside and out, because we're supposed to be who we say we are, and we're supposed to conduct ourselves like this. And by doing this, we actually have a nation. All right. So I'm not gonna go over it again, but this is what we do. We meet every Friday, every holy day, 7, and Sunday at 7. We'll be reconvening later this month. Not this next Friday, but on the 25th, 7 p.m. All right. And
I got a question.
Sure.
Oh, I just had a court date, and I went to go get my record expunged yesterday, and the charges is 23 years old, and they said because of the law, saying that the charge is a violent charge, even though the plaintiff came to my defense and said there was no harm done, no money taken. They wouldn't even hear that part. So I'm just trying to figure out, man, do I need to pay a lot of money, man, to get me a lawyer to do it? Or do anyone of y'all know a way to be able to get outside of, getting my straw man? Does anybody have any suggestions outside of that?
Man, honestly, I wouldn't really trust anybody's advice unless they're expert at law. Sounds like you need to get legal counsel. And I wouldn't say anything about a straw man in court, because that's all coming from the redemption movement. And as far as I know, it doesn't really have any place in anything that we're doing as Moors. There's no remedy in there for us, and I don't know anybody that has worked for us successfully. I know some people that years ago tried to do some, I'm not even gonna go into it, but they tried to do a lot of stuff and it didn't work. But I would just go the normal route of getting legal counsel and seeing what they can do for you.
I don't know why it's going in and out, but like your voice is going in
Islam,
and out.
it hasn't happened in a long time, but these sessions are recorded and sometimes it speeds up and slows down in the recording process. I noticed that once before. We haven't had this happen in a while though.
Okay. Islam.
Yeah, so I advise getting legal counsel. That's all I can say.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so yeah, if you have any other questions though, feel free to speak up. We're gonna go into the closing of the meeting. If you have any questions before we close, feel free to ask them. Brother Jackson Bay, would you please read the additional laws?
Additional laws for the Moorish Americans by the Prophet Ali. Act 1, Grand Sheikh and governors and heads of all temples, all businesses, each said temple must be approved by the Prophet Noble Ali before acting upon by any member, let it finance property or any line of life that will cause the support of any group of members. Any form of officer that violates these laws is subject to be removed from his office under heavy restrictions, etc. by the Prophet or the Grand Sheikh. Act 2. All members are to attend their added meetings and their public meetings properly. If a member is found standing around on their meeting period, shall be fined 50 cents on the first case, and on the second will be fined $1, which will go on your emergency fund. If a member is working, his monthly dues must be paid, and if he has money in the bank, he must subscribe for as much as he is able to the Moorish Uplifting Fund, because it takes finance to uplift the nation. Act 3. It is the lawful and divine duty of every good member, if he is able to give finance to aid me in saving the nation, and if he does not, he is an enemy to the cause of uplifting his own people with justice and schedule. Let it be he or she according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, as I have the power invested in my hands, and I will enforce the law in order to save the nation. Act 4. All members while up making public speeches must not use any assertion against the American flag or speak badly against the church or any member of any organized group, because we are to teach love, truth, peace, freedom, justice. Act 5. All members must properly attend their meetings and send their children to Sunday school, and the teacher must confirm himself to the questionnaire, and let every member exercise his 5 senses who is able to do so, because out of his Sunday school comes the guidance of nation. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now. No men now must proclaim their free national names recognized by government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained name of Ali, prophet to redeem people from his sinful ways. Pardon me. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and compart and partial of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must put your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Ali, through the guidance of his father, Dr. Allah, Islam, Islam, Islam.
Islam. Thank you, Brother Jackson Bey. All right, Brother Cole Bay, would you please read the writ of the prophet?
Islam. I rise. I give all highest praise to the Most High Father God Allah. I give honors to our prophet Noble Dwali. I give all praise to all Muslims on this phone call and all Muslims across the world on this holy day. To be proclaimed at every meeting, Islam. I'm glad to know I have a few faithful Moors among you all. And I desire for you to know the truth and the divine truth. There's a host of jealousy about me and the movement now by the same people of our side of the nation. They claimed that I was a joke and unreal. But now, since they found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as American citizens, they are working every scheme that they can to disqualify me so they may take charge of the situation. I have notified all these things to you long ago in the past. It is through the faithful Moors that attribute to the movement and uplifting funds, the ones that pay their divine respect and movement will be remembered. That is why I'm calling upon all faithful Moors to increase their faithfulness to me, your prophet, and your divine Moorish movement. I need finances, and I need it badly. Never before I needed finances so badly as I do. May shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It all comes through jealousy because of my fame and nobility. The nation of the world will not recognize the movement without I, the prophet, being hid. It has been proven by my works which I have performed in the past few years. Prophet, Noble Jew Ali. To the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Islam. This is instructions from your prophet, Noble Jew Ali. Be faithful unto your forefather divine and national creed, that you will be blessed for your good deeds that you sow in the flesh. Allah is the one that judges the world, and his judgment is on now, but the weak can comprehend it not. The end of times are drawing near, so says Allah to the divine prophet, I Noble Jew Ali. That's why many hearts have turned to stone. Many have eyes to see, but cannot see, ears to hear, but cannot hear. Least they will be confounded of their sins. These are the trying hours now, dear Moors, and every evil spirit is moving, and they are trying every weak mind to overthrow and drag out the true foundation that has been laid and to cause confusion in the minds of the ones that do believe. But if you have the true love of Allah and the spirit of your forefathers, you fear not what you hear or see, but will sacrifice the utmost of your very life to protect your movement and your prophet. Watch your enemies, dear Moors. Your enemies are the ones that speak against your prophet and ridicule him to the very lowest, and the ones that speak against your divine and national principle of your temples. Act accordingly, and Allah will bless you for your good work. Peace. Your divine prophet, Noble Jew Ali. Prophet wants all Muslims to be read in every meeting. I hereby want to end all radical speeches while at work, in their homes, or in the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing the cards of Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is your salvation. Fail to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings towards the temple or the prophet or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust. All true Moors will and must obey the law that is laid down to them by the prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet, Noble Jew Ali, and the prophet is not right. The temple is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out divine plea to all Moors of America. They do their best part in protect the prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to receive his people for their sinful ways. Peace. Noble Jew Ali. Islam, Islam, Islamism.
Islam.
Islam. All right. All right. Thank you, brother. Okay, we're going to go ahead and go into the closing of the meeting. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. If you're able to, please rise and face the east for the closing prayer. You do not need to repeat after me. Allah, bind our hearts and minds back to our ancient fathers to our ancient forefathers' divine creed and principles. We ask this in thy holy name and the seven Elohim. Amen. All right, Islam. Happy Holy Day, Morris.
Peace, holy day.
Happy holy day.
Islam. Happy.
Islam Moors.
Happy Holy Day.
If anyone can, get on the messenger for our group, and we can just travel.
Islam.
Islam.
Islam.